Hey Capricorn, what's going on? I'm going to do your twin flame reading for basically for today or for June 2022. This will be timeless, so whenever you basically find this video or click on it, it's still going to resonate with you. That's the way, time is very different in the spiritual realms. It doesn't exist like it does here, so everything moves so rapid in this world, depending on what it is. And so with this one, it can resonate whenever you click on a video. So with that being said, I also want to mention that I'm going to be using two different decks by the same person, or the same author actually. It's Live Tarot or Live Tarot by Varuna Dave PhD. You can get these on Amazon. As far as I know, she only has two decks, or this person only has two decks. But I bought them for like $50 a piece at the time. They've been pretty great. One is the one I just showed you, is separation, twin flames and separation messages, which is really good in regards to if you're just trying to find out how your other person feels or if they want to tell you. But keep in mind with these cards, I mean, they're all things that involve the twin flame, something that a twin flame or a real near soulmate would say. So one thing I've found that definitely shows that they are accurately channeled and created is that it's always the same messages, like for that same person, especially like somebody that doesn't change that much or is fixed in their emotional state. It always shows me the same ones, even when I clear them and everything else, so they are pretty accurate. Alright, and then the second deck is just basically twin flame messages, same box, just different name, same person, all that. They just give you messages for your twin flame journey, so it can be both, for both of you, runner, chaser, whatever. It identifies in a way of like what you are. Like, for example, if you are reading for yourself and you are the runner, then it would show that you're the runner. Things like that. So also keep in mind, a lot of people don't want to hear this. The whole twin flame situation is just not as cut and dry as it seems. You've got to. Some of the best articles I ever read on twin flames were at the beginning of 2012, 2011, things like that. And a lot of other people have come forth and said they're experts, and there's a lot of manipulation, game playing, things like that goes on in those with those groups and those people. So just make sure that you develop your own discernment when it comes to this. That's one thing, if not anything, the twin flame journey will definitely help you with your discernment, because you will start to know who's true and who's not. Now, one thing that I still absolutely am not sure of, because I have seen, I have another deck of cards that has a twin flame and a soulmate card, and the way that that deck defines the twin flame is just a very high level soulmate. So I've had that actual card come out for a few different people, and when I've been reading, like, it shows a twin flame energy. But one thing that I find interesting and mysterious at the same time is that the people that that card is actually came out for have all similar personalities. So it has me thinking, is the twin flame an energy? Is it just an energy that comes through in another soulmate or another person? Or do you have all these? Do you really have all these false twins and all these near twins? I mean, I'm not going to tell you. I have my own, I guess, perspective on that. I have psychic abilities, but you never know. You don't always know what's accurate and what comes through, especially if you're trying to read for yourself. So I know that the card itself was defining a certain type of people, and these people had certain characteristics that me personally am highly attracted to. And the fact that they're all somewhat narcissistic is kind of weird too. Because I'm basically, in a sense, we have the dark and light in all of us, but some of the other twins have, Some of twin flame situations have more than the other, or basically the other is suppressed or not developed yet. That's one reason you merge. So I've seen a lot of masculine counterparts that show potential twin flame energies. They basically all seem the same. So it can be confusing, and the whole they'll talk about, like a lot of people will say, a false twin, and then they'll say they'll be the ones that is the karmic or the narcissistic types. Well, if you have a deck of cards that show a twin flame for say you're reading for 3 different relationships, and you have that twin flame card come out, and all 3 of those people have narcissistic tendencies, what is that saying? Ask yourself that. I know what it's telling me. What would you, how would you define it? Please like, share, comment too. Let me know, what you think about that, and can there be more than one? Because even in some of the most profound psychic readings, like with Edgar Cayce, it speaks of choices. It's not just one person. Like with Edgar Cayce, his twin flame was the person that wrote down his information, all of his readings. His stereographer, or whatever they call it. It was a weird name back then, but it's not something you see used that much now. And the way that he talked was the next time that he himself, his spirit would be embodied into a physical body, that him and his twin would be one in the same body. So that gives you a little bit of explanation to the twin flame, and almost in a way shows that there's proof there that you originally were together. So maybe that is the truth when it comes to the twin flame experiences, that you do the whole separation thing, both in the spirit world and in the physical world, until you're ready to come back together. And then the next, if you come back in another lifetime, or you go somewhere else, you're one in the same body. Now, it's pretty profound. But the people that I speak of, though, I was only intimate with one of those people. But I can imagine, being that those people had the other people had the same personalities, that, and it was the same connection. It was the same, like the same thing drawing me in. And they were almost like when they were those people came in when the other person wasn't available. So I can imagine that the intimacy and all that would have been the same if it had went that far. So I don't know. You take that how you want it. See it how you think it should be. But that's just a little bit of information based on my experience, and I'm not all knowing. I'm not all seeing. Many psychics claim to be, but they're not. So this is just a little bit of information to see what you think. All right, so I'm going to get on with your reading. All right, so what does Capricorn's twin flame, or the person that they see as their twin flame, want to say to them at this time? And before I shuffle these cards, you can set your intention on whoever you're thinking about. Like whoever you're thinking about at this time, go ahead and put that image of that person in your mind, and then the cards will be speaking directly to the ones that are tuned in. So what does Capricorn's twin flame want to say to them at this time? What does Capricorn's twin flame want to say to them at this time? So 2 cards come out. I'm sorry for judging you and hurting your feelings. That's a very common one. And the thought of you with someone else drives me crazy. So this could be for either one of you. This could be for, sometimes it will show like how you're feeling, or you both feel this simultaneously. Remember, you are mirrors, but also remember that soulmates can be mirrors too. So everybody that, basically, I'm going to tell you, here's a little truth. Everybody that is in your vicinity, in your reality, that you interact with on some level, even if it's a stranger that you're walking in a store with, if they can exist in that same space at the same time you do, they are a mirror to your vibrational frequency in some way, somehow. And if you got to know them or talk to them, you would see that. Now, sometimes it'll be like, say, if you're the type of person that's not if you're very introverted, and say you go on a walk or something like that, and you don't want to be around people, you'll notice that that person will either be the exact opposite, or they'll be, say you pass somebody on the walk, they'll be the exact opposite, or they will be the same as you. You know, so they'll either, if you wave at them or something like that, if you just say all of a sudden just wave at them, then you'll notice that that they didn't, they're either they'll wave right back, or they'll be weird about it, or paranoid or some way. I see this, and these people basically they're just showing you. They're just showing you different aspects of yourself. So don't get caught up in the whole twin flames and mirror thing, because for the twin flame situation I've seen is the twin flame will mirror you usually on a soul level, as a soulmate will mirror you more on the egoic level, like life partner type person. Sometimes they can be the opposite. It comes in different shapes, forms and fashions, but most of the people that I could consider a twin flame, that is in regards to what the cards said and the messages that I got, it was a soul level interest. Like certain things we liked, certain types of soul level compatibility, but on the egoic level at that time we weren't compatible. And for the one that was a little bit, it was just because that person was able to be a chameleon. So I was seeing my own own reflection mirrored back to me. And when you're dealing with anyone like that, then you don't always know what's up or down, left or right, or whatever else. So be careful with that, especially if you're dating water signs, because you might as well just be looking down at a pond and seeing your own reflection, or standing in a mirror. And that's a different type of mirroring than what I was talking about before. So all right, so what else does Capricorn's twin flame want them to say at this time? What else does Capricorn's twin flame want to say to them at this time? Would I be rejected if I contacted you? Do you still want me? For some of you, it's no. Absolutely. A lot of you, I get that you are done with this. You're tired of it. It's been a long roller coaster. This person is either narcissistic, or they're running from you, or you're running, whatever. But it can be very difficult to trust people like that. And this goes out for all of you cross watchers, or just, it doesn't even have to be cross watchers. It can just be if the twin flames are tuning into this and you are the runner. There's a difference in running and treating your person like they're nothing. And if you have a huge ego and you think that you're more superior than them, or if you are a narcissistic twin, or the twin that plays more of the dark role, regardless, like I said, some people will call that a false twin. I'm not so sure about that, because if one twin is more light and one is more dark, it would make perfect sense for that other twin to have that, and a lot of times if they run and they refuse and they're trying to escape emotion and confusion, then it can be scary, and they just do everything they can do to sabotage it and push it away. But if that happens in that twin, that's also something that you've done. It's something I know that I've done. So it would make sense for the twin to mirror that back to you, to give you an example of what that's like. But that is the decision you will have to make, if you can trust. And it's good to have cards like these, or to get readings done on situations like that, because say that your experience has repeated 4 or 5 times and it's always been the same. Some key factors to look into is to look at the person. Do they have a fixed sign in astrology? Are they fixed in any way? Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, or Scorpio. Now, if they have a fixed sign in regards to the sun sign, or a fixed element in regards to the sun sign, or the moon sign, you can pretty much expect the same behavior for a long time. And, that can kind of suck in a way if it's considered bad or negative behavior, or behavior in a way that you don't approve of. If you have, say you have a twin flame or something like that has always been very open with other people, running the streets, in the streets, out in the streets, doing things, multiple partners, things like that, you can probably pretty much expect that. If they've always been someone that's cheated on someone, that's never been loyal, never been faithful, they might be your twin flame, but they don't mean they're going to change, because they have that fixed quality, and sometimes they don't know how. And I have, relatives that are fixed quality, and to me, I'm a Gemini. I'm mutable. I change as far as my sun sign. I change constantly. But when it comes to like my body type or my rising, which is Leo, it's fixed, and then my love sector, Venus, it's fixed. So I pretty much stay the same in regards to that. And some of those characteristics are fine as long as they don't, too much on the negative end. But like with Leo, the rising sign is your body type. So if I gain weight or something like that, then I'll stay at that weight for a while. So it can be hard to make that transition or change, be difficult. So, but if you have someone that's, that's narcissistic, for example, and they're fixed in any of those categories, the sun, the rising moon, anything like that, that's something to be wary of because they may never change. Now with a Scorpio, like say if it's a Scorpio fixed sign, they can change because their whole energy is death and rebirth. So they don't change really by so much as by choice, but more by force. And so it's just a constant death and rebirth, rebuilding themselves in a lot of ways. It's just something they do. It's kind of weird that it's a fixed quality, but it still does that. And remember, those signs that I mentioned all are opposites. Example, Leo is the opposite of Aquarius. Scorpio is the opposite of Taurus. So with each one of those signs, you're really getting both, the best of both worlds, positive, negative, whatever. So this journey is really more about the self and not so much about another person. And the more that you learn that, the happier you'll be. I've seen some people say, it's all about self-love and forgiveness and learning and things like that, and that's true. And maybe if it also acts as a catalyst too. So like it'll come in and cause you to do abrupt changes and things like that. And for the so-called chasers or people that identify with that term, it can really catapult you into a deep spiritual awakening where you go through massive ascension changes and everything really, very quickly and throughout life, and you'll change a whole lot. Like me personally, that's what happened to me, and being that with the Gemini, energy, and changing like the air or changing like the wind, which is their air signs. It was constant, like it moved me into places that I didn't even think that I would end up. And now what's crazy about the situation is there's not very many people on a vibrational level that I can relate to, because I've done all that work and DNA activations and energy work and things like that change you at your core level. I'm sorry about all that noise. There's just bikers. I live next to a bar, and bikers go crazy in the summertime, and it's like they've never been on a bike before, and they just sit in one spot and rev their engines up and play music, and it's ridiculous. Really didn't think about when I moved here. I should have thought that through more, but it's in the middle of town. I didn't even think about that either. It's funny what you the lessons you have to learn in order. Like, this is a place I always wanted, in my life, and I've been manifesting it since I was a kid. And I remember I wanted an apartment in town, upstairs, pretty nice, with all new appliances. And I got that very thing after I completed my karma with my father in this lifetime. But I never thought about the noise, and I tell you, it'll give you like respect for emergency workers and service people, because I lived out in the country before, and you don't even think about how much how much happens. And sometimes they go out like 8, 10, 15 times a day, and I'm like, Jesus. And it'll just be like fire people, especially like right now with Aries and Jupiter, or Aries and Jupiter. It's the fire energy that it's expansive. So fire trucks is going everywhere all the time. And then high speed chases go through here. I know I've lived there like 3 years, and I know there's been like at least 6 or 7. So it's entertaining, and you do kind of get the energy of people around you. But it can be nerve-wracking too. So what I do is basically to keep the noise down, because the landlord, he didn't put any, he didn't put any windows in here that was like, that should have been like more soundproof, or at least, helped out, because that would help the sound out. So I had to put like an air purifier in the window to, drown out some of the sound. So anyway, enough about that, but I figured I'd talk about that thing real quick. So I'm going to do your other 3 cards. You can always skip the parts if you don't want to hear me, talk and things like that, but I feel like I'm in a talkative mood right now, so. Alright, so what are the other messages for Capricorn's twin flame journey at this time? Alright, you have awakened to, or I have awakened to our connection. I know we have a timeless bond between us. Let's see what. I guess that's going to be an extra one because I grabbed the wrong deck, my bad. So, that's good. I mean, that's a good card to get, but it doesn't mean they're going to change. So they may be going through an awakening, which the awakening seems to be a lifetime. And always remember there's an older twin, or the other twin will go through the awakening first, usually. So congratulations for those of you that this is actually happening, and that's really good news. But just use your discernment when it comes to it, because not all this tarot and these cards and things like that, not all that is set in stone. If you have a situation like mine, it's so funny because like I was saying about the fixed quality, the fixed element in that person, or the fixed emotional sign is it's fixed, so emotionally they don't change, but the core self, the sun sign, changes constantly. It changes like the water. So it's funny, like, they say that sometimes they say your twin flame will match your zodiac sign or characteristics. Well, what I've noticed is it doesn't match it as far as the element, but the characteristics of it changing your mind on a whim, or if you imagine, like, with the water, the water sign actually switching. So that means the emotions change like my mind does. So that is a mirror. So it's like messing with a river. You don't know which direction it's going to flow, so be careful with that. Alright, so put this card over here. I don't know if y'all can see it or not, hopefully. Alright, so what else does Capricorn's twin flame, or what else does Capricorn need to know about their twin flame journey at this time? Observe. Social media, fascination, curiosity, watching from a distance. Now I feel like either both of you are doing that, or like just more or less of one of you. So basically stalking. So whichever one of you is living their life and everything's fine, then that's what's happening. And it's identifying and showing you that that's what's happening. And most of you, I feel like a lot of you already know that. So that's good news in a way, because you know that they're still thinking about you. But if you're trying to move on from the situation, which I still cannot tell you if that's even possible, I mean, I know a lot of this is a soul contract, and they say that we have free will, but I don't believe in the free will in regards to our human ego. I believe the free will exists in regards to our soul, or our I am presence. And what I mean by that is that I feel like that we choose our experience before we get here, before we become conscious in the human self, before we're in the human body, because the human body, the human body has its own persona too, in a way. So that's a little bit different from the soul level. But it's just, whatever resonates with y'all. It's not going to resonate with everyone, but people think they can have free will, but I've noticed a lot of times when you try to do something, sometimes there can be a whole lot of stuff trying to stop you. And for an example with this relationship, everybody come out of the woodwork trying to stop it. So I don't know if you can relate to that, but it was the weirdest thing. Like, it's like God jumped in everybody, or the universe jumped in everybody and did everything they could do to separate it. I've never seen nothing like that. I've seen people be protected, but I've never seen that many people get involved. It was like a mob, And I'm talking about police officers and probation officers and just all kinds of stuff, parents, and forbidden forbidden marriage, just anybody you could think of got involved. Friends, friends that you thought, or friends you actually thought were your friends and end up being frenemies. It made no sense. And then when I look back at it, I mean, was it them? Was it, was it jealousy? Was it enviness? Or was it just the universe saying it ain't the time? So that right there answers your question on free will. I asked a psychic that one time. I said, this, someone else. I asked him, I said, is free will true? And I said, or is it free choice? And what I mean by free choice is that you have the ability to choose, or you have options, which makes more sense than free will, because if we all had free will, we'd destroy ourselves. We'd have too much power. But the free choice thing makes more sense because you can go left or right. It's duality. You can go left or right. You can go up and down, or, you know what I mean? But I had read something a long time ago about someone that had a near-death experience, and they were talking about that when he got on the other side, they said free will had been taken away from us because it was too much. We were just doing things that were ridiculous. And if you look back in times of Atlantis and things like that, you can see how that might be accurate because we destroyed ourselves. I mean, in a way, we still destroy ourselves. It just takes longer. So basically, with this card, you're observing, and you're observing, they're observing. You're being watched. You're watching them. Borders on, some of it's obsessive. So just be careful with that. A lot of times in doing readings, you will notice that you'll get a card that says change your focus. And sometimes that's the best thing you can do because, what you focus on, you get more of. So if you're focusing on something that's not necessarily healthy, then that's, it's going to pose problems later on. So what else does Capricorn need to know about their twin flame journey? What else does Capricorn need to know about their twin flame journey? Cycles. Momentum, force, life cycles, stay grounded in the now. So basically that's just telling you that we go through a series of cycles in our lifetime, and that you're going through that now, Capricorn. And it's saying don't get caught up in the cycles. Make sure that you stay grounded. It shouldn't be that hard for you because you're an earth sign. You're basically, you're grounded anyway. I mean, a lot of people will come to you to get grounded. You're very physical, you're very earthly sign, earthly element. So just make sure that, whatever you do to stay grounded, whether that's working out, meditation, whatever. If you meditate, though, make sure that you stabilize the energy all through your body. You want to, if you're doing, like, say, there's a lot of meditations that will put a lot of energy in your head area. There's a higher self meditation like that. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you equally distribute the energy throughout your body, and that's from head to toe. So you want to once you're doing that, once you're in the state of meditation, you want to visualize that energy moving through all parts of your body so that you're not spacey. Because if you're spacey, then you're not grounded. What else does Capricorn need to know in regards to their twin flame journey? What else does Capricorn need to know in regards to their twin flame journey? Fifth dimension, intuitive communication. You are connected at a soul level. So, I mean, most of you know that. If you've merged or if you've been intimate with your twin flame, and if it was anything like it was with my situation, the one I was intimate with, it's a whole nother level. And no matter what you do, it's very difficult to disconnect from that. They say that you can't cut cords and things like that. Now, I have removed cords from me and this person, me personally, and it helped me heal through a lot of the things. There's a lot of different things you can. There's a romantic romance angel's prayer that you can say too. It's in the deck, romance angel love deck. You can use that. It's a release the X prayer, and it does help. Like if you find yourself like obsessive, or you can't get over them, or you're just thinking about them all the time, you can do that, and it will clear energy from your heart chakra. And basically, if you pay attention, though, like it depends if like you're a Reiki master, if you've done energy work or not. If you haven't, you might not have the same experience. It just depends how sensitive you are to energy. Me, I feel it on a whim. I can feel energy all through my body when I do energy work. But I've also done a lot of energy work. So, but that's something you can look into. You can look into doing things like that, cord cutting. I do that stuff too, and you can contact me. I can give you the prayer if you don't want to buy that romance angel deck. But basically, Capricorn, that's what I have for you, and I hope that was informative. I try to at least keep it a little bit interesting. A lot of people don't have the time to listen to the whole reading. and they miss out because they miss the key points and observations and things I'm trying to make in regards to the reading. So, whatever resonates again, and I do appreciate your likes, shares, and subscribes, your comments, and I really do wish the best for you in regards to this journey. It's difficult, I know it so much. You have my compassion, my understanding, and I hope you have a great rest of June and a good July, and I'll be back later on in this month to do different things. I'm going to be doing some more psychic classes and how-to videos, and I'm going to start doing energy healing videos and things like that. So I might actually do a video on the Release the X, and that way, basically what I'll do is I'm not going to do those on camera. I'll probably put my hands out in front of the camera or set the intention, and basically what you can do is you can watch the video for you that actually are that can actually feel intuitive healing or energy. It might be good for you to try that out, because I'm going to do different ones. I'm going to do video, for certain body parts and things like that. And, say if some of you had low back pain, I'm going to do a video for that, and I'm going to send energy. So basically the intention will be anyone that, listens to the video or watches the video can receive that healing at any time. And in that way, gives more, more to my channel, more to my clients. So anyway, thanks for watching again, and I'll see y'all next time.